Hi, I have discovered another Christmas themed alcohol free food to try out. Christmas food. And this one is Stollen. Now, haven't really been aware of Stollen until the last sort of decade. It's German Christmas bread. It's sort of bread with added fruit and stuff. And here is the the photo of the ingredients of the information you get on the side of the Morrisons Stollen. Sweet bread with marzipan, vine fruits, and glacé cherries, no accent on the E, may contain cherry stones. Allergy advice contains wheat, egg, and almonds. Due to the way we prepare this food, additional allergens may be present. Well, I was looking at another Christmas food in Morrison's, the ingredients list, and it was something like this. It was a mince pie or something, and under allergens it had may contain seafood, traces of seafood. I don't know what the hell that was doing on there, but I mean, I'd say that was a pretty scant ingredient list. And there's no, what I would like to see, I must admit, is if something contains alcohol, there's a big red label on it saying contains alcohol, so that people like me can avoid it. But as far as I can tell, this has no alcohol, which is why I bought it. And Stollen, right now, I'm not sure how they got here. I think they must have come in either through Aldi and Lidl, which are two German supermarket chains, which are set up in this country in the sort of last decade, or perhaps through the Christmas markets. There's Christmas markets all over the place in this country. German Christmas markets. The one in Birmingham, which is the UK's second biggest city, which is sort of 50, 60 miles north of here, takes over the city centre. It's huge, and in the weeks before Christmas, it's crowded. It's absolutely crowded. And they all come over from Germany every year. It's obviously worth their while economically, and flog their stuff. So perhaps that's the way it got into UK culture. It's the sort of mingling of cultures which is highly beneficial, and of course, which Brexit threatens. Which I won't go on about bloody Brexit, to be honest. This is about Christmas foods. So right, looking up Stollen on Wikipedia here, we have a list of ingredients. And it says early Stollen was different, with the ingredients being flour, oats, and water. As a Christmas bread, Stollen was baked for the first time at the Council of Trent in 1545. Well, that's actually in England. And was made with flour, yeast, oil, and water. The Advent season was a time of fasting, and bakers were not allowed to use butter, only oil, and the cake was tasteless and hard. Right, it's got a strong association with Dresden. And it says, Stollen is a cake-like fruit bread made with yeast, water and flour, and usually with zest added to the dough. Candied orange peel and candied citrus peel, raisins and almonds, and various spices such as cardamom and cinnamon are added. Other ingredients such as milk, sugar, butter, salt, rum, eggs, vanilla, and other dried fruits and nuts and marzipan may also be added to the dough. Well, there you go. There's a brief potted history. Let's switch over to the one that I bought from Morrisons this morning. And here is the Stollen I bought from Morrisons this morning. It's heavy. I mean, you sort of get the impression you can knock a nail in with that. I mean, that is dense. And right, well, without further ado, let's try. Now, I bought one of these last year. I ended up throwing half of it away because it wasn't great, to be honest. But we'll see if they've changed the recipe, so I can make a comparison at least between this and the recipe last year, because I can still remember the taste now. So, just have to get a knife there. Here we go. I should have used my bread knife really, shouldn't I, considering it is bread. That's what it looks like inside. You can see that. Oops! That's the marzipan there. And apart from that, I can see, I think I can see raisins and maybe sultanas, which are golden raisins in American speak. It feels very dry, the outside at least. So let's try a bit. Mmm. Mmm. I tell you what, in a lot of ways that's better than last year. Because last year they added this really chemically tasting chemical, presumably to disguise the fact that there was no alcohol in it. So you have this really false taste. And if you've watched any of my cooking videos, you'll know that I cook as much as possible for myself from scratch in order to avoid the things that the supermarkets add to their food, you know, principally sugar. But they also add all sorts of other stuff, which I'm not really in favour of, although I think you can probably exaggerate the harm it does unless you eat it in huge quantities. Let's try a bit of this marzipan. There's the marzipan core there. Not bad. It's dry. Can I toast this with marzipan in it? I don't think I can. I think that might melt. It's dry. The bread part is dry. Perhaps it'd be juicier towards the middle. Let's try that. It does feel juicier. That's better. Much more succulent. Right, well that's alright. They haven't got that chemically taste in it. There is, as you can see, a good sort of proportion of fruit. In the middle at least, the dough is nice and chewy, not dry. It's quite good. However, I've got to watch it because even though I've only had one individual Christmas pie and 2 mince pies with cream, I can already feel my clothes tightening. So I'm afraid this is destined to get given away. But yeah, I mean, I'd eat that. I'd quite happily have that as part of the sort of Christmas do. I mean, I might let things go a bit Christmas week anyway. You can't live, you know, your entire life on salads and, you know, once a year does no harm. Okay, well, shall I give this a mark out of 10? I don't know, 5 or 6 or something like that. I'm getting a bit less generous with the marks. Okay, well, if you fancy that, fancy a bit of fruit bread with a bit of marzipan running through it, because that's what it is, go for it. It's £1.70, which is a bit pricey, I think. But yeah, it's okay. It's edible. Okay, thanks very much for watching.